Welcome back to Factorio SpaceX Extreme, where we are very much in the final saga as far as completing our goal, launching the spaceship. Only 12 more FTL drives to go, 35 thrusters, 21 fusion reactors, and 4 protection fields. Now, before we get into what we were doing last time, which was adding additional circuitry and seeing the impact that's had, this intersection here has long been a bugbear of mine, with all of these points from the landfill causing some grief. So I've changed the supply outpost. What's in the processes of being changed from a supply outpost to a rubbish, so that it can pick up all of its now unused stuff. And I am going to have to re-enable my robots. So we did have some of the stuff, but we are probably missing something, are we? Do I have? Yes, I do. Alright, let's re-enable our robots so that they can finish off that side of things and correct this so that it reads the logistic robot network contents. And also we need to fix this so that it that one's not correct. It should do something different. Will it do it if we do this? Or do I need to... I know it's A is greater than 100. It's basically the set signal. Oh, no, we don't want landfill in there. Oh dear, we need to add landfill quickly to here. Minus, that will do. Yes, that was. We also need to add stone. Minus. Okay. Because these things are filling up with all sorts of stuff that we actually do not need in the main base. And yeah, well, it's not the main base, it's the old base, it's the supply base, in fact, at this point, because I never fully ripped it down. I don't know how much it actually does contribute to our UPS issues, but it's kind of skeleton. Very little here, as you can see. We still have some of the iron smelting and the steel smelting because we actually use it, and we still have some oil because we actually use that a tiny bit as well. But that is all. And a tiny bit of uranium processing, more over here and a bit up there. So yes, it's very spread out, which is probably part of its problem. But there we have it. We'll try and avoid such spread out networks in the future. So let me just see a few things. Yes, that's all good. So this will probably fill up the rubbish train rather more than expected, but I guess we can use the landfill at some point, maybe. Now, what you're probably all interested in is what was the impact of our let's go back to that mode. What was the impact of our build? Well, for one thing, we haven't finished tuning it. So you can see here the pre-stackers, iron. Oh, and here's something I've added: launch imminent. And this is actually starting to happen quite quickly now. So what we can do is we can whiz over here. We can see that there is a protection field and a thruster. And now we can go and watch all of the launches. How cool is that? The only thing that is slightly uncool is I've got this solely based on the train that comes down here with the components, the launch component train, and so you keep getting that noise until it goes back into its platform. But never mind, it's still awesome to be able to catch up on all of the launches because they're not happening all the time. They are happening a lot faster than they used to happen, but they're certainly not happening all the time. And I missed what that was. Was that the... I think that one was the protection field, and the thruster ended up... Was it here? Or was it there? Maybe there. Seems to share it around. Anyway, and you can't just click on this to shut it down. Clicking on that takes you to it. So I might add a timer to the alert at some point. Just another minor thing to do, but it is always pretty cool watching the launches, and at least you know there's no trickery going on here. They actually are all taking place if you get to see them, although certainly quite a few will end up happening off camera, I should imagine. There we go, only 3 protection fields needed now, and as this guy gets back up here, the not annoying at all alarm will shut off. 3, 2, 1, and it's gone. Beautiful. So yes, here we are, the rubbish depot. So you can see how congested this is. So taking this out, I'm going to let the trains queue right up down here. I don't know how much that will help. I also want to redirect these so that potentially we can have another train come down here. I might even just have to make this 4 lanes, maybe even move this up so that we can have 2 full trains sitting in lanes waiting to go down. I'm not sure. This certainly is very problematic as it is causing issues. We can't even fit a train here. But I have upgraded this. What are we missing there? We're missing something apparently. There we go. Now we're not. So, rubbish train, are you next, or is one of these next? One of these is next. I don't know how it determines those things. So anyway, while we wait for the rubbish train to be able to do its stuff in this crazy congestion, what I was saying was, yeah, this. So we need more trains to tune it. We could use circuits, but at the end of the day, it's throughput. I mean, there should be a train waiting in every pre-stacker, and if there's not, it's a throughput issue. And there's no trains up here at all, so that's bad. There will be soon. As soon as this one comes out and this one moves, this one will go all the way up there and put some copper in there. That iron will go in there, so it's not a long wait, but it is a problem. Now, looking at looking at here where we've been raiding the supply, there's some steel, there's a little bit of iron, there's no copper. When the copper train comes, it's pretty much being snatched up immediately, so I would be keener on taking maybe an iron from here to go to the iron circuit drop until empty. You can do that now and you can get rid of that one. So that's one more iron train. I think we can afford to lose it. See, this copper train, I don't think it's going to hang around here. I think it's going to move as soon as it's clear. Yes, it is. So we can't afford to take any more copper out of here. We'd have to create more copper trains, which we probably need to do. Finally, the rubbish train is going to make it into here. I reckon you probably want to see what the stats are doing. So we're over 300 here. What have we had for the minute? It's not been bad. This is the path. We actually have been able to get, you know, and stay up this level for quite some time, up to about 360,000. Our plates are well over 500,000 combined. It has actually got back to about 600,000 at times. So are we going to get to 360,000? Oh, and this one pretty much gets around 70,000, and because of that, blue has been a lot more consistent than it has been previously. But it's mainly getting green evened out at the moment that I am concerned with. All-time stats, it's hard to see how much of a, because now that it's 1 point, you only get 1 decimal place. So we're only seeing going up in 100 millions with the iron now. So we'll have to wait until copper is in the gigabase club all by itself. And I don't think that green circuits are going to be too far behind it, quite frankly. There's a fairly good chance that we will see 1 billion green circuits to complete this playthrough. And you can see already green circuits have started to dip again. Yeah, it's slowing down a little bit. So we need more copper. The rubbish train has, no, it's still here. Wonder if it's going to be able to carry all of this. Oh, it's got fuel in there as well. That's not good. Let's get fuel off that list as well. We probably should rescue the fuel. Where did it come from? Over here. Is that a connected network? Yes, I think it is. So we'll rescue the fuel. As far as we can. It's not really needed in the supply base. None in there. None in there. A little bit in there. I'll keep that myself. There's a bit of fuel in here. Let's grab that. Good enough. Good enough. And I would like some for myself, so that will do. Alright, so having or as soon as this train's gone, we're going to clear this out. I'm going to let these trains stop about here. I would like to redirect this stuff. This copper patch is going to die very shortly. This iron patch is going to die very shortly. I want to try and tune the copper a little bit more heavily, but I don't have any trains sitting in the graveyard. I've reused them all already. This is a little bit better. Yes, I do need to fix this little thing as well. I shouldn't let these trains come through past this point until they actually have a clear destination to head to. Because stopping this one is not a good idea, but at least that one's out now, so that will move in, and things can follow along naturally. Why is this one unable to move? Because of this one? Oh, the top of that. Oh, it's because of that, yes. I need to fix that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over there. Let's fix up these couple of things. and I will add some trains in between episodes. There'll probably be a fairly lengthy gap between actual recording. Oops, that's not what I wanted, because what I also want to do is some stuff that probably is not that exciting. I've cleaned up all the rubbish trains here. I need to shut down this mine. Nothing overly exciting. I just leave the rubbish train and clear out progressively back through all of the remaining setup and the station itself into the rubbish. The rubbish train will come and pick it up, and then I just pick up the remnants of the rubbish. And then this becomes a corner rather than a two-way, because there doesn't really see much point in having that being that sort of intersection anymore. Then I want to go up here, turn that into rubbish, turn that into rubbish, turn that into rubbish, that into rubbish, that into rubbish, and down here turn rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Not so concerned about that. Possibly, actually, I should be concerned about this, because the supply of iron has been hammered. I'm sure it was a lot more than 40 million when we started. These ones also have been hammered. This guy was about 90 million, I seem to remember. He's down to 67. So even with our 200% productivity bonus, these patches are getting hammered, although this one is holding out quite well. So I haven't been in any rush to set up these two. But the copper down here at the moment is also getting hammered. This little area, it's not going to be long for this world. So there's certainly some outposts here that could probably be turned into rubbish as well. So there's a whole lot of little cleanup like that. I need another copper ore train for here. It'd be nice if I could really fix this up, but I don't know how. I don't think I've had a fuel train here in quite some time. Not quite sure what's going on, but that's something else that maybe needs to be addressed. The rubbish train's gone, but we were heading up here to fix up some of the signalling. Hopefully that will resolve some of our problems. I suspect we've already gone on long enough. You've seen that our throughput, well, we haven't had a look at what it's done to the main base. So this is bouncing around. I wouldn't read too much into the fact that there's a surplus, because it was higher and it's come down, so it's just how it gets used between the various things. But in spite of our much higher production, we still have constant negatives, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it. It's just these end products, they need a hell of a lot of processing units, and if you're new to the series, I'm just going to show you quickly what they are. So the fusion reactor needs 400,000 processing units, so even producing them at 14k per minute, that's a lot of minutes. That's half an hour dedicated to just that, and we're only running at 25, so that's more than an hour of actual real time. The FTL drive needs almost 750,000 processing units, although it's mainly in modules, and we pre-did some of the modules. The other things we need are thrusters, 1600 processing units, and protection field, which needs a total of 16,000 processing units as well. So there's a very, very, very heavy demand on the total numbers of processing units, and because of the heavy demand here on modules, that's why we need the huge numbers of green and red circuits that we do. They wouldn't be quite so bad if it was just the processing units. So there you have it. So yes, I'll tidy this up and see what else I can do to tune it, but thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next, which could be getting towards the final countdown. See you then, guys. Bye bye.